Definitely, without question, the biggest mission ever. Some of the biggest stunts we've ever done. In fact, the biggest stunts we've ever done. Two of the biggest, most ambitious sequences we've ever shot. And 45 minutes of IMAX footage. You won't be disappointed seeing it on the big screen. Well, I live in London, so this is home for me. It's always good to be coming back. I love London. We've been shooting Mission here, at least in my experience. We've been here since 2014. Shot Edge of Tomorrow here before that. We just love London. When you come and see the movie, you'll understand. It would be very hard for anybody to do this kind of thing alone. It's a huge team effort, and it's not just me and Tom. It's a crew we've been working with on these two movies for over 7 years. Some of these people that we've been working with go back even longer than that, and you couldn't do it without an amazing team. And we put together quite a good bunch over the years. Yes, we always do. We're always finding new things and listening to the way people react with the franchise and what it means to them. We took a lot of that to heart and we put it into this film. Whatever you do, make sure you come and see this movie on the biggest screen possible. You will not regret it.
Because you have some of the biggest cinephiles in history, of film history, working together. Tom and McHugh, everybody knows that they love movies more than I think anyone else. And their collaboration is always beautiful. And they work tirelessly, and it shows. It's the culmination of so much, decades of work. And as the years have gone on, Tom and now McHugh have gotten better at their craft, and that's always special to see. I was going to say Tom's aged like fine wine, but he's not aging. But whatever he's doing is doing right, and that's I'm here to see how he does it, and it's pretty fascinating. I don't think I know anyone with as much willpower who actually sets his mind and focuses and gets it done. Well, I can say Gabriel's on a different tangent this time. He may not be in the same relationship as he was with his source. So he's got nothing left to lose. That's all I have to say, and it raises the stakes. I'll tell you, that's a great question because raising the bar. There's only so far you think you can go, but I think what they do, the filmmakers, is they stay current with the times and with technology and the battle that humanity's always had between man and machine, between AI and the soul, your friends, like what matters, the life of your life, the life of your family, your friends, or by extension the entire world. And where do you draw that line? Where do you cut it off? Where do you say, I can't anymore? Oh my. I don't want to get emotional, but to be able to take my daughter to South Africa and go on safaris, things I never did, until then, to be able to have Tom fly my family around was, special. What's so funny, I just mentioned that that's one of my favorite memories. I can also say, getting together with the crew after work, singing songs. There was one time that it was just magic. The entire restaurant, the workers in the restaurant came out and danced and sang to this popular song at the time that was African. And in South Africa, you're dancing, the crew and the cast. It was otherworldly, and it was a show of unity and harmony that one of my most special memories.
I mean, it's the final reckoning. So it all comes ahead right here, right now, and we're seeing it in real time. Action-packed adventure, incredible acting, and some twists and turns. It was an educational experience. McHugh is such a teaching director, and Tom is very giving. He's a gentleman. I mean, for me, it's the breathtaking adventure that Ethan Hunt goes on, and it's unlike anything that I've seen. I had my first viewing of it in Cannes, and I was on the edge of my seat. I mean, from day one, he was very welcoming and always gave space for me to try different things. He was a wonderful scene partner. My biggest dream was to become an actor. I've achieved it. Living it.
We decided to do the most outrageous things, go to the most amazing places, and if you want to really feel like you were in those places with us, then you would want to see it on IMAX. There's certain locations like the Arctics that we went to, and the glaciers are like 10 times real. You actually, if you're watching it, you actually start getting cold. That's how good it looks on IMAX. Yeah, it was a cool journey. My character Degas, he was questioning, if Ethan was doing the right thing, and I think he was the only character in, all 8 films to actually openly question, like, man, maybe Ethan is doing the right thing. So to see him stand on his own 2 feet and, make the decision to join the team and help save the world, I was happy about that. We are extremely close no matter what. Tom is never gonna let me go, even if he wanted to. Even if you wanted to, you better not. Yeah, I knew what to expect, because we did kind of both films back to back, we were a family. So after the last premiere for Dead Reckoning, we were like, hey, we're gonna see you soon, so that was a big thing. We had our group message, and it was always like, I'll see you soon. So this one is kind of bittersweet because, you just don't know. So we might cry after this premiere, we might cry after the one in New York, we'll see. I'm about to cry right now, actually. I miss them. Some fun, action-packed fighting, shooting, explosions, fire, saving the world, possibly, probably, maybe. That's what we got. I just hope I don't die.
Hello. This one is the culmination of the last 30 years of Mission Impossible movies. So it feels so special because you see characters from the first movie. There's incredible fight scenes and stunt scenes made by Tom with, of course, on the plane, in the sky, in the water. What else? He's just like, he's unbelievable because he surpasses himself each time. When you think he can't do better, he just does something more incredible. So it's just it blows you away. Oh, she joins the team, so there is a new dynamic between her and the other characters. And, I got to show a different size of the character and more layers to it, so that was great. It felt like it never ended. It felt like we shot them, I've been working with them for 5 years. So, it's been a big, amazing adventure with amazing co-stars. Of course, he's the one who inspired me, and there's always more to learn. So, yeah, compared to someone who doesn't skydive, I'm incredible, but I jump with people who have 10,000 jumps, so everything is relative. You know what happens in the movie? It was not hard to get emotional because it was oh shit, if it happened in real life, that would be really sad,
Possibly the biggest action-adventure film ever made. You've got the best stunts ever. And it's a great story, aside from that. And yeah, a heck of a lot of fun. Couple of years. Yeah, it was a couple of years. Yeah, not long. It's pretty cool. I got to say that when I was first approached, I thought it was a joke. I thought a friend of mine was winding me up, and when McHugh came on screen, it was like, wait, what? Holy smokes! And it's just been like a dream going forward. It gets better and better. Filmed in one of the most amazing places, if not the most amazing place I've ever been in my life, Svalbard. Beautiful. Spent a couple of weeks up there on a glacier with this crew. It doesn't get much better than that. On number one, Oh, that was the very first one, man. Yeah. That set the precedent for this in more ways than one. And yeah, amazing to be in the beginning and then at the end of it. It's. Oh, let's see. There was 1, 2. There was 3 to 4. When we were filming the blizzard sequence, it got to 50 below, and that was rough. That even with the special thermal layers, I've never been so cold in my life. That was chilly. There's a lot from the previous films being wound up in this one, and yeah, and I think if you're a big fan of the Mission series, you're gonna love it. If this is your first mission, you're still gonna love it. Tom is a master of this, and McHugh, the two of them together. It sounds like you're supposed to say this, but it's true. It's really true. The positivity on set, for a start. You walk in on my first day, it was just like, holy cow, and everybody's smiling. And on film sets, that's not always the way. This one, absolutely. And yeah, there's an excitement, there's a focus. People will wait. If things need fixing, they'll fix it. Let's stop, let's do this again. Yeah, and it's very positive. It's not like, oh, come on, there's none of that. Which, for a work environment, is fantastic. I love it, yeah. I am watching it tonight. I used to live here for 30 years, so this is like, I come back every once in a while. It's my son standing over there somewhere. He lives here. So yeah, it's nice to be back.
Listen, because it was made for the big screen, for the IMAX screen, shot in IMAX and made for the largest audience that we can assemble. Did you get all that? It felt magnificent to have, one of the biggest global superstars to give you a call and say, come play. Felt pretty cool. I had to elevate that carriage, that posture, that authority, that take charge. But I'm a mom, so I'm a bit used to it. Do what I say. Do what I say. You know what? Just get ready to hang on to your seats. Your heart's going to be pumping. Absolutely. It's just mind-blowing. So get ready. But you already know. Fans already know what to expect. He's not quite sure initially, because she can't show her whole hand, but he finds out pretty quickly.
There's moments that bring you right into the emotion and the heart of it. All those relationships of Tom with his team, of Ethan with his team, but then the sheer expanse, it has to be on an absolutely gargantuan screen for you to feel it in your ribcage. My brother, who's over there, when I rang him, he swore for quite a while. The Lady Bassett, right there. Fabulous woman. Yeah, my brother lost his mind. Because when you ring, I told Tom this, when you ring my brother's house, one of the films is always on in the background. So, other than Star Wars, I feel like he could die happy. Lady B, Lady B. Yeah, just a musical film. I'd love to do that. She's the admiral of the George H.W. Bush fighter carrier, and she needs to help a boy out.
Well, he can't get much bigger, but it's not just about the scale of it. It's how it's approached. It's about size. It's about what There's something about the lovely analog nature of a biplane chase, which is kind of like something from a silent movie, but has the same reasoning behind it, really, which is like, this is what movies are for, what they're about. It's this massive, massive thing. Well, I was in the last one, so I can tell you everything. I was the head of the National Security Agency, I think, or Intelligence Agency. I have had a promotion, but I can't remember what it is. But I now have my name, and my name is Cotton Angstrom. Yeah.
Great name.
Well, Chris said, "What do you want to be called?" And I've got a thing about those particular kind of odd American names, like my favorite, the writer of The Magnificent Ambersons, who was called Booth Tarkington. You know, only in America, or indeed Walton Scoggins, only in America. So I came up with this curious name, and that's my name. Yes, but you know the interesting thing, I found this on the last one. I've said this before, but my friend Indira Varma was in that one, and neither of us knew we were in it, and we were so kind of terrified, and we saw each other across the room, and she just went, and we kind of hung on to each other, and we were surrounded by all these, what we assumed were sort of blue steel American actors, and then we discovered they were also terrified. Everyone was terrified. And then Tom and McHugh arrived, and it was just delightful. You know, it couldn't have been more relaxed, you know, and fun. I mean, it's hard work, even when you're not hanging off a biplane. Long days, hot, lots of stuff, and you know, most of our stuff in the conference room, as it were, it's like shooting a big dinner party. You've got to shoot everyone's angle a lot, so they can be quite mentally draining. But it was, I mean, God, it's Mission Impossible. What can you say? It's incredible. I can't quite believe it. I used to watch this show when I was a kid, and then to be even a tiny part of it now is really amazing. Well, you know, they talk about married couples finishing each other's sentences. They're sort of joined at the hip, and but also they're having such a good time. I mean, they brainstorm stuff. I remember the previous one. As we were about 3 days in or something, McHugh suddenly said, "I've had an idea about a Russian sub," and then by the end of the week they were building it. It was like, I wish it had come true. And it was like, and they'd just been thinking about the opening of the movie. Maybe that was needed to be bigger, and so it's extraordinary, really. But the thing I really take away from it is how much they laugh. They're having a good time, and it's infectious because it makes everyone feel relaxed, and they know everything about movies. And we talk constantly about classic movies and stuff we've been influenced by, and you know, and something wonderful happened. Can I say this? It might be a spoiler. Can you cut it out? All right. But we were talking about Armageddon. And I said to McHugh one evening, we were walking away from the set, and I said, the thing that's always preoccupied me is that, you know, if someone pressed the button, 5 seconds later, none of it would matter. You know, whatever political madness, and that's the thing, and it doesn't matter. Of course it doesn't, because whatever creed or political persuasion, you press the button, it doesn't matter. We have none of us. And then the next day, he'd written it for me. And I say it in the film. None of this, but 20 minutes from now, none of this will matter.
It's the accumulation of all the missions that have gone before, and it was designed for the big screen, made with IMAX cameras, and it's a fully immersive experience. So from the soundscape to the visuals, it's intended to be seen in its full glory on the biggest screen possible. You've got to go see the movie to discover what happens for Grace. In the first appearance of Grace, we saw quite a mercurial, slippery character who spent the whole time getting away from Ethan Hunt and sort of going it alone, being very selfish and self-serving. And then in this one, she's joined the team, but she still remains pretty untrained, capable of making many mistakes, and the stakes couldn't be higher for her now because she belongs to a team, and the thing about belonging is obviously the cost of the fear of losing them. So it's emotionally very, very scary for her. A lot of the work that I did stunt-wise was in the Arctic, so working in minus 40 degrees with a sled dog team and their handlers, and it was phenomenal to be there. I'd never in a million years thought I'd find myself in the Arctic Circle. So like 500 miles south of the North Pole. At one point we were so far up, the Northern Lights were below us.
Oh damn, I thought it was a surprise. Congrats! Because it's the biggest practical action film ever made. May even be the biggest film ever made. It's just so vast, you know, we go from the top of the world to the bottom of the world. The kind of the vistas as I think film fans like to call them, are gigantic. But also at the same time, it's got a very human story at the heart of it, you know? There's a lot of love and sweetness in it, and it's got everything. It's been a lot of fun. I've been all over the world, you know, filming and promoting this film, these films. And I've met amazing people, I've made lifelong friends, and I got to hang out with the big guy. He sort of leads by example, and you can't help but be caught up in his enthusiasm, his sort of passion. He's Mr. 100%, and if you don't match that, then you might as well not bother coming into work. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's how he gives us advice by showing us how it's done. Not that any of us could or would want to do what he does, but you know, that's his job. Yeah, buckle up. You know, it's kind of it's emotional. I think, you know, be prepared to be a little moved at times as well as thrilled. Take your inhaler. If you have asthma, please take your inhaler. And if you have a heart condition, whatever medication you need, keep it with you at all times. Because, as my daughter said when she watched this movie, this film is like a heart attack. And so, you know, be sensible. Yeah. And if you're pregnant, think about it before you go in. Do you know what I mean? Maybe if you're over 8 months, wait it out for a little bit. Have the baby. It'll be in theaters for a while. Yeah, I mean, we're a pretty tight little group. And, you know, we spend a lot of time with each other when we're not shooting. It was great to have Rolf Saxon back in the film after 30 years, you know. And Lucy, who plays Topeza, who I think steals the movie. So, yeah, it's a tight-knit group, and I'm going to be sad to say bye to them, you know.
Because it should be seen on that big screen. You want to see it on IMAX. You want to see it on the biggest screen possible with great sound. It is it's an epic story, visual. It has great drama, emotion, and action. It is made, designed, and built for the theatrical experience. I think audiences will see it. I mean, you look at the sequences that we have here. What I like to do is take everything that we learned from one movie, whatever it is, and then put it in the next. And you'll see this is not only a culmination of the last 30 years of this franchise, but it's a culmination of the 45 years that I've been privileged enough to make movies. Audience is going to have to go see it. It's called The Final Reckoning. First of all, he's just a great guy. He's a lot of fun, very smart. We just have a lot of fun creating stories together, and I have so much admiration and respect for him. He's enormously talented, enormously inventive, and quite has a very, very large adventurous spirit. You know, it's an honor for me. I love to see people do well. I love to see them take on challenges, and if there's anything I can do to help in any way, I want to do that. And that's really wonderful. And I love seeing them do that. I think it inspires back and forth, and my door is always open to help them, and I love to see them do really well and keep creating a great life. Seeing it from my earlier films, seeing it from other people's perspective is always very interesting. So I do discover new things about it. You know, you make the movie, and believe me, when we're making the movie, we're spending, you know, it's the hours in the editing room, the mixing stages, the sound stage. I mean, everything on the making the movies. And then as time goes on, you go back and you do discover things about it. When you see what Christopher McQuarrie has done in terms of wrapping all of these films into this film, hearing and seeing his perspective, and hearing how he experienced those films and what they mean to him, and how it informs this film, it's always very fascinating.